Money is a topic that's all over the place. There's a lot of people who are scared of money. There are a lot of people who are not scared of money. You know, money is an abundant, like it's an abundant thing that we have here on this planet. I myself spent many, many years scared of money because I didn't really understand it, how to use it the best for me, how to make the most benefit and advantage of it for me in my own life. I'm excited to introduce our guest today. Her name is Lenka Holman. I'm going to bring Lenka up, and she is a financial coach. And Lenka, this is a topic. Money is a topic that will always be around. Since the beginning of time, it's been around and it'll always be around. And there are a lot of people out there who have financial fears. And since you're a financial coach, before we introduce yourself, I want to talk about the financial fear aspect and why are so many people scared of money?
Because nobody teaches it. We go to school, we're taught how to make money and be a good little student sitting in a class and talked to. But what's really important in that, what's day to day, how you feed yourself, nobody talks about. How does it work?
Yes,
It's mystified.
as you mentioned that, it just like what flashed through my mind was the homelessness out there. Do people become homeless? Like there's many reasons, of course, but sometimes it might just be because their lack of knowledge or lack of education related to money, and
Mhm.
that sends them down a spiral. But then once they get there, how do they get out? How do you help people out of that money mindset that has spiraled them down, or that fear that they have related to money? For me, it was a scarcity. Like that was my fear of money, is that I was always going to run out. And so I lived my life like, pinching pennies, and then I would just like spend it like crazy and I would run out, which was
Mhm.
my greatest fear. So I would fulfill my own, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy related to money. And so what is it that you do with people in relation to money as a money coach or a financial coach? What is it that you do with them to help them to move out of that lack into an abundant? Because we're going to be talking about the book Anatomy of Abundance, and we're talking about financial abundance. So why don't you share with us a little bit about that?
Well, one of the things that I know to be true is that it has much less to do with how much money you have and more about how your mindset is about it. I find it very interesting that some of the most scarcity minded individuals have a whole lot of money coming in. I have worked with, and for over 20 years, I have seen pretty much everything. And being a certified financial educator, that's the first step. And when somebody is educated about money, one, how does it work? It's not a mystery, but nobody's teaching it. And once you do that, then you say, oh, okay. So I know if I do A, B, and C, I should get X, Y, and Z. The problem is that we have so many subconscious gifts, we'll call them, that were given to us by previous generations, by other individuals, that we self sabotage. And those self sabotage, you mentioned the homeless situation. Yes, that is the most extreme. But what I would encourage everybody to consider is the simple fact everybody at every income level can have a scarcity mindset and others. And that's one of the things that we cover in the book.
How does that work with if you're a person who is wealthy, but you have a scarcity mindset? I guess because I'm not that person. And
Yeah.
so I'm having a hard time conceptualizing what does that really mean? Because if they have money coming in, how is it like just a programming that they have from a younger age that it keeps playing and they're feeling that lack, like it's never enough money. I've heard that kind of thing that once you have enough money, it's still not enough kind of thing. So
Yeah.
what is that? What's going on? What's going on in our brain? I mean, crazy brains.
Well, it's just fear. It's the fear around money. And there are several steps, and that's actually what my chapter is about. And one of the things that you just described
Mhm.
is what I would call a situational look. I am only secure as long as, and it's like, okay, I'll be okay as long as I don't lose my job. I'll be okay as long
Mm,
as the child support doesn't stop. I'll be okay as long as I don't get sick and have to stop to work. I'll be okay as long as gas prices don't go up. Okay. And that is really, if you take a look at it that way,
mhm.
and that's one of my big things. It is not about a on-off switch. Scarcity and abundance is not an on-off switch. There are steps in between. And so many people are like, well, I can't be in scarcity because I have $150,000 coming in next year. I've got a
Right.
job. I'm good. And they think that that's the thing. No, that's how you think about money. How have you treated money? Are you putting it in a place that's actually going to support you and you feel good about it and I'm okay? Does that make sense?
Okay. It does. And my the first thing that came to my mind is like it makes money just sound so boring, you know. But money isn't boring. Money is exciting. I mean, for me, because I did grow up in a very lack mindset, environment, that when I started making money, I just didn't really know how to handle it. But then I've done a lot of mental work and money work, especially because that was my biggest hang up. And now I see money in a different light. Like I used to think that having money was a bad thing. What do they say? Money makes people, brings out the evil in people or what have you, but it's not true. Like it just amplifies more of who you are is what I hear.
Money
And,
is
and
a magnifier.
yeah, magnifier.
Trust
And
me, if
so
you're a
that's
jerk, you'll just be a bigger jerk.
right, exactly, exactly. So why don't you there was something you said I'll be okay as long as, and, fill in that blank. And what is something that somebody can replace that with? Like if that's what they're thinking or saying out loud, because a lot of times we say things like that out loud and we don't even know we're saying them. But if we're saying something like that to ourselves or out loud, what's a phrase or a terminology we can use to replace that to to help us at least in that one aspect?
It's not a phrase. That's one thing that's a myth. Anybody who's not digging a foundation of security and actually putting things in place,
Mhm.
they're kidding themselves. And that's where the idea and the I'll call it the myth of, well, I'm in scarcity. I'm in abundance. I'm fine. This word means that I'm in abundance. Well, I've watched plenty of people who say that they are in abundance and they're just in avoidance. They're kidding themselves.
Mhm.
They're creating the atmosphere where they are going to self sabotage, and maybe they won the lottery or something. 6 months from now, they're going to have nothing. And when you put the numbers, and you mentioned that it's boring, but it's not boring when you think of what you can do with that. When you think of, hey, you know what? I'm good. I can send my daughter on her trip to Europe next year because she's going to have an amazing experience.
Mhm.
I'm good because my neighbor down the street just had an XYZ emergency and I know I can step in. That's so empowering. Once you see what you can do with it and you put it in its proper place, because money is nothing more than a tool.
Right.
Nothing, nothing.
Yeah, I love money and what it does for me. And that's a whole different mindset for me alone. Just that, like just saying I love money. Because I used to think that if you love money, it means you love, like, it controls you. Like that love for money is like that's all I think about. But that's not what it is for me. It's that I know what money does for me and how much a better life I can have, by having money. Not
Mhm.
having money is no fun. Yeah.
Well, money can't buy happiness, but the lack of money sure can buy misery.
Yeah. What is it? I know Les Brown, he says, They say money can't buy you happiness, but everybody wants to find out for themselves. It's one of my favorite quotes of his. Well, so that we're talking about money, and in the book that we're launching, January 11th of 2024. So exciting. It's right around the corner. It's called Anatomy of Abundance. And your chapter in that book is titled Financial Abundance for the Non-mathematician. So why don't you share with us just a little sneak peek into your chapter, and so we know why we need to get the book.
I think that the best thing that I can offer is to dispel the idea that abundance around money is an on-off switch. I'm being abundant, I'm being scarce. No, it's a sliding scale. And once you realize that there are several different areas that you can be in, and it's the actions, you are not that person. You are not the conditional comfort. You are not the neutrality. You are not the other areas, but you might slip back into a action that might reflect something. It's kind of like you can say, look, I am a person who is getting healthier, but yeah, I had that extra donut and chocolate cake yesterday, so that might not have been a good choice. So what? Next. That's it. You have that choice.
Choices, yeah. Because they make your choices, the choices that you want for your future, not the choices just for right now, which is, a lot of us live in I live in the now. I'm present in the now, but also, being more mindful of my future, something I never did before. And so that could be part of it. I had 49 jobs and I never had a 401k in any of those jobs. So you think about how I could have moved that money from one job to the next to the next. I didn't do any of that. No, but like you said, nobody ever
Nobody
trained me
teaches.
about how to use money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how to look into the future with it. So in the book, Anatomy of Abundance, you can go get your sign up for the book right now. It's launching on January 11th, official date. And there's going to be a lot of free gifts over there. Go to go.patrinawisdom.com/abundance to get your copy of the book, as well as get those free gifts. Now, Lenka, you have a free gift there for our audience. Why don't you share what your free gift is?
I actually have worksheets, and those worksheets will guide somebody through the process of figuring out what's important to them and how to attach their actual values to these goals. Because a pile of money doesn't mean squat if it doesn't have a value, if it doesn't have a purpose. And when you put the purpose to it, what you just mentioned about the 401ks, can you imagine if those things were on autopilot and you knew that your future was okay, how much more free you would be to pursue whatever it is that's important to you today?
Yes, I can imagine. Yeah. Can't go back in time,
Nope.
unfortunately.
Nope.
But doesn't mean my life's over. It
No,
doesn't mean my
no.
life's over.
That's
Not
the
at
reason I
all,
would
right?
take people from where they're at to the next step, to the next step. And I've done that for 20 years.
That's fantastic. Well, I'm curious. Well, first of all, you can connect with Lenka at lenkaholman.com. That's Lenka Holman, HOLMAN.com. Connect with her over there. And why don't you share with us, how did you get into this type of work? Doing financial coaching. Where did you start? Did you always know you were going to do something with money, or where did you start?
Nope. I had no idea. What I knew, actually, my degree is in something that sounds real fancy. It's optical physics. I have an optical physics degree from UCSD. I know that's the look I always get.
What is that?
I made lasers in college.
Oh, wow. That is
Holograms and
fascinating.
lasers. So, but then everything went from fiber optics to Wi-Fi, and everybody thought that
Oh.
was dead. So I, fast forward, I went through a number of changes. And quite frankly, when I started in this business, it was because I didn't want to be working 40, 50 hours a week. I wanted to be a mom who was home with my kids. And this
Mm-hmm.
allowed me to shift my schedule so that I was doing something that I enjoyed. I'd always loved the topic, but I had no idea I was going to make it my career. I had no idea.
That's awesome. I love how you started in like something completely not even heard of. So it's not like you went from one industry to another. It's like you went from an industry nobody's even heard of, to something completely different. I love that. And so what's your favorite part of doing the financial coaching?
People. That is the easiest answer. I've watched people who were absolutely terrified, who were in a position where they thought, I don't know how I'm going to pay my bills tomorrow. And literally one young lady comes to mind. She and I were having a session, and she was about that far from my face. And she was screaming at my face, you don't understand. I can't do these things because you don't understand. Like, actually, I do. And that's why I'm telling you these things need to be done.
Mhm.
And when she was done screaming at me, people outside the room said, what just happened? But fast forward, now I think it's been about 3 to 4 years. She's in such a good place right now.
Awesome.
What she has done is neutralized all of that stress around what she thought couldn't happen. And she's okay.
Mm. Yeah, just having that calm, in relation to it, right? Because she had you to guide her, to
Mhm.
hold her hand through it and
Mhm.
and help her through. And what I love there is that, I mean, a lot of people might have like run the other way if somebody was screaming at them, but you didn't. You held your ground. You're like, I'm here to help her.
Mhm.
And then look at her now, 3 years later. That's
Hey, I had
fantastic.
16 Girl Scouts. I can stand
Oh my God.
anything.
Yeah, that's something I wouldn't endeavor. Something I definitely would not embark on. Awesome. Well, I want to thank you so much for being here. And, you're doing financial coaching. If you're looking for somebody who gets it, who understands where you are today and can envision for you and with you your future, then definitely reach out to Lenka. You can find her at lenkaholman.com. And Lenka, for the book, Anatomy of Abundance, what is something that you would like the readers to take away from reading that book?
I would like them to really take away the fact that there's no one size fits all, and it's a progress. You slowly move forward instead of saying, I'm done, I'm good, and it's okay. But once you build your support team around you, the experts, the accountability of somebody who knows where you're at and knows how to push you forward, you can be okay. And it's not intimidating. It's actually quite fun when you know what that money is doing for you and how it's supporting your values.
It's exciting, right? Because you're now empowered. You're empowered with education, with knowledge, and now you're doing the things that are going to help you to live a better life. I mean, just that one piece right there. And it's not about, being a multi-billion gazillionaire. That's not what it's about. It's about having peace of mind around the money. That's my perspective of it. It's like just peace of mind, having that. Yeah.
Yep. I've had modest income people who have tremendous peace of mind and are in a great place financially. They're completely secure. And I've watched people with very high six figures who are in absolute abject terror.
Yeah.
One means nothing to the other.
Wow. Wow. So if you want to connect with Lenka, again, go to lenkaholman.com and you can get a copy of the book, Anatomy of Abundance. Go to go.patrinawisdom, Patrina wisdom.com/abundance. Get your copy of the book. Go get those free gifts from the authors and, just enjoy that book and learn as much as you possibly can. It's a fascinating book. It's completely different than any other book that we've ever put together. And so I'm excited, for people to read it, to see what you get out of it so that you can live a more abundant life. With that said, we'll see you at the next interview. Lenka, thanks for being here. I truly appreciate you,
My pleasure.
everything you're doing to, get that word out there and to help people with their money situations, because that can be one of the biggest challenges. Thank you so much.
Take care.
Hi, I'm Debbie Allen, and I just had an amazing opportunity working with Linda. She really knows publishing, and this is a big thing coming from me because I've written now 10 books. She helped me with my 10th book. I've been working with major publishers and had all kinds of amazing opportunities, but I wanted to get this book done fast, and I wanted to work with somebody that could publish it for me, do a hybrid publishing. And I just thought, okay, I'll take a chance on Linda, let's get it done. And she walked me through this process so easily. It was such a joy. And here is the big deal. I have been a professional expert in marketing and books for over 20 years, and I learned a lot from Linda. She gave me some great marketing ideas I never even thought of. My book was timely. In fact, it was a month early, and we even made Amazon bestseller before our launch. I can't tell you that she's just an amazing person to work with. She follows up. She gives you more than you expect you're going to get, and you will get a really high quality product, and you'll have a really great time working with Linda. She's a true professional.